I'm Carlos King, the host of Reality with the King podcast, where we discuss all things reality TV, honey, from interviews with my friends across the entertainment industry to recapping an episode of our favorite reality shows. Listen to Reality with the King wherever you get your podcast.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Boonie, and you're listening to the Boonie Breakdown podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. Hey guys, welcome to episode 210 of the Boonie Breakdown podcast. We have a fun one here. We have our problematic fave is on this episode. Brian and I... It's always funny. We kind of talk about our shit we be talking about in our DMs to each other. We have a good conversation about sexual anxiety. Brian believes it's bullshit and made up. Like, we don't need to diagnose things. We have dialogue about that. Then we also talk about which 1911 team is better. Are you for the Kappas or you for the Bros? So you want to stick around for that conversation with Brian. All right, we're going to hop right into my pick of the week. This week, my pick of the week is our interior designers. You know, one of those things, like those moments where you feel like, oh, I done made it. I made it a little bit in life, because when I moved, I wanted to be very intentional about the feel, about the look, about what I was putting in my new space. And so one area is like kind of open concept-y. And so I was like, I'm going to have to make the investment into an interior designer. And I'm so glad I did. I actually did it for 2 different spaces in my house and worked with 2 different designers. You don't have to use the same designer for your whole entire space. But one designer actually paid for the design, the schematic, and for them to actually implement. The other designer I had, and she was on the podcast, Whitney J. Decor down in Louisiana. She was on episode 144, Making Your Home a Sanctuary. And we did an e-design project together, which she's given me the basis, and I've been able to like not piecemeal, but yeah, I guess piecemeal, like buy the things on my own timeline when I have some extra funds, and taking my time and making sure I'm buying things that I like. But she gave me a great vision to execute on my own. And it's finally like, I'm starting to see it melding. I have like one more area I need to do in the space that we worked on, but it's really come together really nicely, and I really, really like it. And so I never thought I would be one person who would have ever paid an interior designer. But for me, they were worth every fucking penny. So again, if you want to go back and listen to the episode with Whitney, that's episode 144. She gave some really good tips on how you can do stuff yourself. But even if you want to pay for someone to do it, or you want to do an e-design, that's my pick of the week, interior designers.
Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping.
Not now.
All right, housekeeping. We need to do some feedback from episode 209, Sex Parties 101 with Majesty, the Fun Sexual. I got a lot of feedback on this one. And it was interesting because I did a Talk to Boonie Tuesday poll, and so many people, a mass majority, 87% of folks said that they would go to a sex or play party with their partner if they just wanted to watch. It dipped a bit down to about 57% said that they would go to a play party, sex party if their partner said that they wanted to actually play. So I wasn't shocked that more people would be like, we can go and watch, but we're not going to do nothing. So, but I feel like maybe once you get there, listening to what Majesty was saying, you might want to do a little something. Maybe not with other people, but maybe you and your partner get in the mood, in the space, the vibe is right, the feels are right. But I got 2 really good comments this week. One said, hey, Boonie girl, as someone who frequents play parties, solo, partnered, whatever, I love them. I think Majesty gave really amazing tips for first timers that will make their first experience or frequent experiences memorable, and the tips were very insightful to ensure that you would have a great time. Also, kudos on that panties tip, I never would have thought of that. And I've been going to play parties for the last 5 years. So great episode. I also got this message. Just finished this week's pod. So many fantastic moments. I loved it. Puppy pads. I have to try that as soon as I buy my wand. There are so many parts of this week's pod that are on spot with the conversations that I've had with my man. Always love listening to this pod. And so you're probably like, panty tip, puppy pads. Yes. Majesty gave out a lot of hoe pro tips in that episode. So if you have not listened, I encourage you to go back and check out episode 209, Sex Parties 101. All right. I'm saying this to hold myself accountable because I'm behind on a deadline and I really have to get my shit together. And so the dates will be publicly released for Boonie Live very, very soon. All right. They will be coming out within the next 2 weeks. I promise you that. But however, whatever, Patreon gang will get first crack at those tickets. All right. And so if you are not a member of Patreon gang, you can head on over to patreon.com/the Boonie Breakdown. That is one of their many perks that they get, is that they get early access to any live ticketed events. And so they will get first crack at the tickets, and then it will open up broadly. We have 2 cities dropping. All of that information is coming very, very soon. I promise you. So this is me. Y'all can hold me accountable. If by April 25th, I ain't dropped no dates, then y'all need to bust my DMs down and say, bitch, you promised us. Okay. So that is my promise, that information will be out very soon, because outside open, I need sold out crowd. Like, I got to come back with sold out shows. I can't come back and be like, oh, I kind of sold some tickets. No, I really need y'all to sell me out. We're going to sell out these first 2 cities, and then we'll work for a city probably in the South in the fall, because it stays warmer down there longer. All right. And so if this is your first time listening, welcome to Ratcheteer Gang. I hope that you stick around and you follow and subscribe us on any podcast app that you're listening on. Also, you can follow us over on social media, Instagram and Facebook at The Boonie Breakdown. We're most active on Instagram. The party really be lit over there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boonie Breakdown. We're on TikTok too at The Boonie Breakdown. All right. And we're sharing this episode. You could put it in your Insta stories. You could put it in your group chat. You could send it to a friend. You could text it to your boo. You heard the feedback from last week. Homegirl said she sent it to her man. They was listening to it. So you can do all that. I appreciate it. And if you share it on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, be sure to tag us. You can use the hashtag The Boonie Breakdown, the hashtag PODIN, PODIN. All right. So that is it for me. So let's get ready to break it down. Hey guys, it's your girl Boonie, and I'm back with y'all problematic fave.
What's good?
How you be?
Gotta drink some water. Problematic fave is in the building, ready to cause some problems, ready to start some trouble. Doing what I do. It's what you do best. I live for these days. I'd be like, why Boonie don't record with me more? Like, because I wake up and I'm like sitting there doing like self-thinking, and I'm like, you ain't doing no self-work. Not like work. I'm just saying, like, I think of like crazy shit, and I'd be like, that's some shit we need to talk about. And then it's like when we do, I'd be like, damn, like I forgot to talk about that. I do that often. So this time, you know what I did? I went back, and I think the episode title of this one, I say this, but it could change because we always go off on a tangent. It might be DM Tales, because if somebody ever hacked our DMs. Yeah. You know what? That's funny, because I actually heard somebody say that recently, like, oh, you're not afraid to like say stuff in the DM, because what if the DM gets hacked, and what if all your messages get out? And I'm like, I don't really live my life like that. I don't really think like that. Like, I'm not that cautious. I'm not that worried. Anything. Yeah, I don't think it's anything bad. Like, we wouldn't lose jobs or lose niggas or women, but I do think people would probably laugh at our DMs. It's a lot of me telling Brian I'm gonna fuck him up, or it's a lot of him telling me I'm annoying. I mean, I'm just talking about not even just me and your DMs. I'm talking about the DMs from all DMs.
Let me tell you this. I was talking about it the other night with my friend. She was saying how she wasn't giving me no sympathy because I was like, dang, I need to go out on a date. And she was like, bitch, the DMs you be showing me and screenshotting and sending me, like your DMs are lit. You're not on a date because you don't want to be on a date, not because you can't get a date.
Right. See, some people are struggling. Like I had this long talk with this girl the other day, and I don't even care if she's listening because I was just so pissed off with her. Like, I was just like, yo, like, what are you doing? She was like, I just want to be with somebody. I'm tired of being alone. And I'm like, is it that bad? She just was like, yes, like it sucks being alone, being like in your 40s, like early 40s, no kids. Like, I'm just tired of being alone. Like, I take the other nigga back. Like, I don't even care. And I'm like, damn. So my whole thing was like, when it gets to that point, like, you don't ever want to get to the point where you're just asking for somebody.
Yeah, because that's when you get fucked up, you get beat, you get robbed, you hooked on drugs.
I mean, it's just like, I feel like the worst thing you could do is be alone and be with somebody else. Like you got a relationship and you're still lonely because this motherfucker is just there. So it's like, be intentional. Don't be like, I want somebody. Say
somebody will come and work up shop in a lot of different ways. No, yeah. I don't say that. Like, I don't mind being alone. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like that life.
Well, I feel like when you don't, it's because you haven't done the work to kind of tap into you. So
look when you sounded like a nigga that's in therapy.
Not no more. I got kicked out.
You got kicked out of therapy? Why?
She took me out. She was like, it was a waste for me to keep coming. She was like, you've done everything that we wanted. She was like, you know, you're at that place. It's time for me to let you go. She was like, you can do it. You can be.
You got your wings.
You can be who you want to be. And I'm here for you. If you have anything happen, I'm here for you. And
take
that was
breaks
like,
from therapy and then I go back.
It was like a month and a half ago. She just was like, she cut me down from every 2 weeks to once a month. And then it became like, you ain't no need for you to come in here. Like, you doing too good. Your shit getting boring. She was like, your shit is boring. Like, it wasn't no more good.
You don't got no other issues to work on? You all healed?
I'm all healed. I'm perfect.
Oh, shit.
But the whole thing I was saying...
Shoot y'all shot, ladies. Okay.
No. I said I was perfect. I didn't say I was available. So the whole thing I was saying was, when you do the work on yourself, you got to date yourself and know what you like. I'm like, some of y'all don't even know what y'all want to eat, let alone like where you want to go for a nice time. Like, you'd be like, what's your idea of a nice date? They'd be like, I don't know. You find out they never even been on a nice date. You find out they never even been anywhere. Like, there's so many women who never really even been on vacations. Like, never even been out the country with a dude, or all their trips been with their girlfriend.
Oh, don't attack me. How I catch a stray?
I'm sorry, but I just feel like I thought.
No, I just don't be liking these niggas enough to be going nowhere.
But that's another thing too. So it's like, it's two sides to that coin, where one, you could be just going just to go. And I think that's the worst. Like, you going with a dude just because he's paying and you don't really like him like that. That's awful. And then you got, dudes who you deal with and they're not trying to go nowhere. Like,
I've had that. And I've had it where it's just like, I don't even really like you enough to make a memory.
Yeah. I think I'd rather be on the side where you're like, I don't like you enough to travel with you, or I need to get to know you better, because it's very intimate. I feel like that experience is very intimate for us to be away and stay in each other's space for 6, 7 days.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The airport, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to fill my passport thing out. Like, I ain't filling my own passport thing out. Like,
you can't even do that.
Huh?
You can't even fill out the little form.
I feel like that's the woman's job. Like, some stuff, like when you're on vacation, is just a woman's job. Like, hey, babe, go down that buffet. And when you come back, bring my plate up here, because I ain't really trying to walk down there today.
All righty. Vacation etiquette 101 from our problematic faith.
I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, that's just how it goes. Like, sometimes you want them to bring you certain stuff, like go get the food, certain things. I mean, just certain things women do.
I'm gonna make that a goal this year.
Men pay for the excursions. It's like, oh, you want to go ride jet skis. Like, all right, cool, babe, I got it. You know what I mean? And then,
so are you splitting the trip, or like each person pays their own way, or you paying?
You know what? I honestly have never paid for an entire trip. And I was
so it's a lot of Dutch vacations happening. Okay.
But the thing is, it's like, I will always pay for stuff once we got there. But on some, like, I got it like that. Like, oh, you want to go somewhere really nice? Like, I'm not just dropping 3 stacks on a trip. I got fucking kids. I got shit going on. But at the same time, like, if we together, why we both can't pay for the trip? I ain't never had nobody be like, no. I had this one chick that did tell me straight off the top, like, oh, if you want to go on vacation with me, like, you paying for that whole fucking trip. And I was like, damn, bitch. I'm like,
come on, set your standard, sis.
We ain't go nowhere.
See, we already went on a tangent because this was not playing. We supposed to be talking about DMs and we didn't got to play it. But that's funny. I feel like I would be okay with, doing a split, but I'm kind of with you. Like once I'm there, I probably would not want to, because at that point I feel like it's a regular date. And so I'm not.
I just feel like it's a hell of a split when it's like it's $3,000 or $2,500. Like we both picking out rooms and you picking out the most expensive type of room and you want to be on the beach. Like, how much you got on this trip? Like it ain't got to be a whole 50-50 split. I might be like, hey, let's book it. You know what I mean? Here, go ahead, take that $500-$600, put that down on it, or just go ahead and we pay it. And I'll give you the rest or whatever. I mean,
so would you fall for the I'd be like, no, I would never do that because I'd be like, I want the points. Like, I'll put it on my card to get the points, but then he don't pay me back. I'd be ready to blow shit up. So nope. I pay
my thing is like, don't even go. Like, don't even go if he ain't paid you back. Like that's crazy when people be like, we went.
I couldn't even fathom.
How'd you get on the plane without him even paying you back?
I couldn't fathom because I'm changing the name on the ticket. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I might still go, but we're changing the name on the ticket.
Yeah.
But crazy. I'm gonna make that a goal this year. To go away with a nigga. Now I don't know what nigga is going to be, but I'm gonna make it a goal because I really don't. I need to do better about liking men. And I'll leave it at that. All right, so okay.
I said okay.
One of the DMs I laughed at because you were like, ping this for the next time I'm on there. So this time I actually remember because I always forget that shit.
What was it?
I had posted in my Insta story. One of my past guests had did a post about let's talk about sexual anxiety. And y'all problematic fave pulled up in the DM and was like, let's not. And I'm like, Brian, it's a real thing. And you were like, bitch, you just nervous. And I'm nervous because we both want this shit to be fire. And once we know we both good, so let's not create a new condition. And
why we gotta label everything now? Like everything has got a label. Like I get what it is. I know what it is. It's a real thing. But why do we have to call it that? Like, do we need another label? Like, so now you're sitting there like at the table with your girlfriends. It was like, well, girl, he got sexual anxiety. Like, what? Like, you take a pill for that? Like, oh no, he got to smoke before we have sex because he get real nervous. And if he don't do that, then he gonna come fast. Like, that's the same thing her boyfriend got. He just ain't diagnosed. But the whole point is like, why do we have to keep as a society, like we are coming up with all of these labels to give people like an out? Like, it just is what it is. Like, Harriet Tubman ain't have anxiety when that motherfucking whip was cracking and that gun was going off and she was sneaking through the woods. It was like,
how the fuck did Harriet Tubman get in on this? Listen.
I looked at my thigh.
The freedom fighter thought leg is out. Your freedom fighter.
Somebody called me Fatzilla the other day. I was like, what?
Brian be wearing hose shorts with his freedom fider tattoo
old lady
leg.
Was like, this old lady was like, I know you're not talking Fatzilla. I was like, what?
You are a Thotzilla. Now here's the thing though. I do feel like you're right. Like we do label things, but I think there might be some man out there who's listening who might be like, that's what I have. My dick just cannot rise to the occasion all the time. And so maybe he feels seen. He can talk about it and it relieves the pressure. So now maybe he can fuck somebody properly.
I had that problem before, but it was like what it made me realize it wasn't me.
Who was it then?
It was her.
What do you mean?
So anytime it happened with a female, I just felt like the chemistry was off. Because when you know you got good chemistry with somebody, it's no issues. So it's like you gotta like sometimes you gotta look at the other person, and it don't matter how good looking they are, how banging their body is. It just could be in that moment, y'all just not connecting. Whether it's the way you two are interacting, the energy, the kissing, the touching, the way it go down. Like some of that stuff can like literally like throw everything off. Y'all could have been vibing perfect all the way up until that moment. And then right at that moment where it's like, now we doing something, like some women feel like I ain't got to do nothing. Or they too quiet, they don't say nothing. And as guys, sometimes we feeding off of the way you like giving that energy.
So sometimes the quietness is because it's better to be quiet than like you don't know what you're not feeling.
No, not even that. I'm talking about like even just your breathing pattern, even the way like you are responding. Like it's a difference when you touch a woman and all of a sudden like you see her like shoulders move back, her neck move like, oh, and she start like getting a little bit more. She ain't saying
getting
nothing.
bothered. Yeah, no, I know what
saying like, oh, right.
She's
there.
aroused. I think that
you
is the point.
Tell, so I can feel that energy at the moment.
So a woman who's laying there limp, she's not aroused.
When you laying there looking at me like I'm your uncle and I'm not supposed to be touching you, I gotta go. Like,
well, I gotta be your uncle, but she's not aroused.
Because like people be fucked up out here, and it's like they don't tell you, and that's why like I was listening to this pastor. He was talking about like people getting married and stuff like that, and you don't even know that this person's dealing with like a whole bunch of issues sexually, and then you find out like you got look. Sometimes you gotta ask some real questions with people because
so that's why we need to name things sexual anxiety so people have a connection point.
So what are we gonna call the people who just lay there like this?
They did in the water. Never had that experience. I can't say that I've ever had a nigga just laying there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying everything is chemistry related. So I think in that situation where somebody's labeling to wrap it all up and bring it back home, they labeling themselves with something, and it might just be the wrong situation you're trying to.
So you're just saying it might not just be a good fit for this with that person. It's compatibility and chemistry, and you're saying don't give it a condition.
Yeah, because anytime it's ever happened to me, I left out of there and went somewhere else to make sure I was still good.
You toxic as fuck.
Like, hey, what you doing? I thought I was gonna be busy all night, but looks like my homeboy canceled on me, and I just want to see if this thing's still working. I'm about to pull
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Toxic 101.
Pull up, walk in, that thing, and you already know you back, baby. I'm back. It was her fault. It was her fault.
You ain't shit.
So do y'all have that? Do y'all have so your anxiety is different from ours in the sense that ours is automatically revealed in the sense that we're physical. So our parts are outer. So we actually have more pressure on us because one, if we can't perform in this sexual anxiety that we're now calling the SA, if SA arrives, we actually fail the mission because nothing can happen at that moment, right?
Yeah.
So how is it in relation to y'all? Like, do you feel like you're laying there and you're like, pussy don't fail me now? I gotta turn this.
See, I feel like it's different. I feel like men probably, and let me not speak for all women, but I can say, I don't think I've ever had crippling sexual anxiety to the point where I was like, I think women, let me speak for myself. Myself personally, I think it's more dependent on how much shit I talked, right? Like if I'm really vibing with somebody and I done talk big shit, then I'm like, oh, bitch, you better deliver.
Right.
So I think it's different in the sense that, like you said, a guy really can't, I think most men can't tell, right? Like it's no physical thing. Like your nipples may be hard. You can tell, oh, she wet, but it's not like I have an erection, right?
Right.
Even to the point where I shared this thing last week where it was stunning to me. I was like, this is why the orgasm gap is the way it is, because they had like and I think I'm going to do this at one of the Boonie lives. It's probably going to be one of my games where it was like, they put up the anatomy of a woman and they asked the guys, point to the clitoris. And every single guy they asked was pointing to the pee hole or the pussy. And I'm like, see, y'all don't even know what a motherfucking clitoris is. So I feel like guys have a different level of anxiety with sexual performance. Maybe there are some women. If you get sexual anxiety as a woman, let me know. But I can't say that I've ever had it. It's just really like I got to goddamn perform because I talk big shit in them text messages.
We have to do a poll because the thing is, like, I think for women.
This is Talk to Boonie Tuesday poll. Go ahead.
So I think for women, the way that we don't know is because it's not apparent. But for us, we could have got out of there and be like, she talked all that shit and she was dry. Like, that's where your anxiety could have.
That's why lube is your friend. Go ahead.
I get that, but it's, sometimes like I feel like every time I ever had to like stop and use lube, it just turned me off. Just turned me off. It just gave me a bad taste in my mouth.
Why?
Because it's like, I mean, if we not like on round 3 or 4, why do we need it? Like,
it helps things.
I get that,
better.
But I'm just talking about like times when it was like became like almost like a regular occurring theme, like reach over, grab the lube, like, oh fuck, this should not get wet on her own. Like, what is
maybe that was causing her sexual anxiety? She couldn't get wet.
I guess it was like by the time you got in there, it was like, man, it's like trying to like fight your way through like the wilderness. Like
you whitewater ratchet.
By the time you get in there, like, man, you didn't went like a whole round. Like, that thing almost over. Thing tight, dry. It's damp. Damp.
Damp pussy.
Like, then they got the nerve to be like, is this pussy wet? This pussy wet? Oh, no. Did you just be like, yeah.
But would you say that, though?
No, like, I wouldn't say anything. I mean, I was younger. I haven't had any experiences like that lately, but I had a bad experience where she used to be like, KY time. And I'd be like, oh. Like,
maybe like, she was like trying to tell you, like, you could play my booty.
I don't know what it was, but it was whatever it was. I never had really experienced it like that again. And that was good. And it was like one time I had this girl, she just stopped like right in the middle and just like, I'll be right back. And I'm like, what the fuck is she about to do? She like ran in the room. Like I'm sitting there and she come back and she got like lube. And I'm like, what you think I was going to do? Sit here for 5 minutes and just be like at attention? Like,
yes.
No. Come on
you the bros. You can do it.
It blew me because I was just looking like,
but sometimes, here we go. I feel like we talk about this every time you motherfucking on here. But I feel like maybe people who use lube a lot too, people who use condoms, because it helps with less friction.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. I think so.
It does. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But then sometimes too, like anything can affect it. Like if it's too cold.
Funny. I was just in the aisle at Rite Aid waiting for my prescription. And while I was waiting to be filled, like the back of the line was like tailing into that part of the aisle. And I just picked up the little KY jelly, like 2-in-1 sensation thing. And it was like, for your parts. And I was just reading it and I'm just like, But, warming jelly, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used warming jelly. But sometimes too, like that's why I'm always a proponent. People laugh at me, but I wear socks when I have sex because when your feet are warm, don't make faces. I do. I will be butt ass naked with some socks on. Because when your feet, they help control your temperature. So when your body's warm, you can orgasm better. And so I generally have socks on. And a couple partners have made fun of it. Like it's become a joke because they know I'm going to have socks. Like I will have nothing else on, but I'm going to have some socks. They may be mismatched. They may be them fuzzy socks you wear around the house, but I'm going to have some goddamn socks on.
That is very interesting. So I guess you're not getting your toes sucked or anything like that.
I know some people like that when he is drilling and your ankle is by his ear and he lean over and suck your toe. I don't touch my toes. They don't
say when he's drilling?
I don't want it. Don't touch my toes. You can put your mouth anywhere else, but do not touch my feet with your mouth. I don't like it.
You sitting there with hospital socks on with
I got them too.
A little traction on the bottom so nobody can lose their footing. Like, yeah,
it come in handy when you got to plant them feet. Got them grips. All right. The other thing that was in our DM tales that you were like, is why I'm single. Do you remember what you said to me? Because you be mean to me in the DM.
I said something to you and you was like, yeah, and I was like, that's why you're single. I can't remember what it was.
Because you were talking about something. There was talking about something with the Qs. And I was like,
it said Qs are marriage material. And you
and I was like, yuck.
Yo, you can't knock it till you try it. And this is the whole reason why I say like we make great husbands.
Why? Okay, real quick. Before you break this down, we got a few new white listeners here. So can you say what the Qs are?
All right. So what we are working with is the fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. If you've been on a college campus, you've seen the men with the purple and gold on, the gold boots, the dog collars.
Not the Israelites.
All of that. So that's only a small percentage of who we are. What makes us men of Omega, and I always say, like, we the only real frat out there. Don't be sensitive if you're a Kappa or Alpha, anything like that. Y'all cool, but we have real brotherhood. Like, we will fight each other. We will attack each other. Like, we are borderline disrespectful to each other because it's like how brothers are. Like, you can fight and be aggressive, and everybody just don't get friendship off the break. Like, you earn that friendship. So it's like we got like a whole different level of, it's almost like a dog, like that dogmatic nature where that dog becomes your best friend. But that dog, when you walk in and you don't first know that dog will sniff you out and make sure everything is good. So we give that. So we loyal. Like, we aggressive, we sensitive when we have to be. So the whole
Are you?
Listen, most women will never get to see that side of a Q dog out in person. But the whole part of you being a Q is when you have that woman and you can show that sensual side and you can break out that massage oil and put the playlist on and light the candles and drop the rose petals. It's even better because of the fact that you know how hard he is on the exterior to everybody else. So when he opened up to you, like, you really don't care about what these bitches are saying about how much of a dog he was or whatever. No, seriously, because it's like when you got a man and you know he's showing a whole different side to you versus anybody, you don't care about what nobody else said because everybody don't know that side of it. So it's like one of those situations where, one, you feel protected. Two, he's gonna provide, and three, profess. That's what you're supposed to do: protect, provide, profess your love. So it's like we are man's man type of fraternity. Okay, so that's the difference. You're not gonna worry about us and your hair products. You're not gonna worry about us.
That's so shady.
I'm just saying that's how some of them are. They in your mirror all day.
Well, I made the stunning confession to our problematic fave that I had never fucked a Q. Ever. And
I was sitting here thinking in my mind, I'm thinking, but I don't have no proof to like be able to shut you down.
My name not in these streets. Now, I will say...
Let me call my line brothers.
I will say this, though. I'm big time fan of the other 1911 team.
No, I felt like when we went to, there was some time when I seen you and you was like, you was messing with some Qs or something. It was when we was at the Centennial or something. You came away.
I could flirt with a Q. I could kiss a Q. I know. Fuck the Q.
See, that's just going to change your life. Next year, we're going to be on here. You're going to be talking about, he was right.
But I do fuck with the Kappas. I do fuck with the other 1911 team. I think the problem is because I like pretty boys.
Poll for Tuesday.
Kappa's accused.
You know they going. You know all your little whack ass listeners will be like,
they gonna vote Kappa just to piss you off.
I know, because they want to hate on me. And
No, I will.
better.
Maybe I should. Maybe okay. I'm gonna add that to my list too. No, I'm not gonna say that publicly because they're all your little not your line brothers, but all your brothers. No, I'm not gonna say that publicly. Or maybe I'll dabble.
We're just gonna say.
I'm not saying it publicly.
All my line brothers.
No, that is not what I said.
Oh,
that was not what I said. But I don't know. I will do that as a poll, but I will for sure. I without even have sampled any Q dick, I would even venture to say that it's of the five. I'll be politically correct. I definitely would put Kappa and Q at the top.
we top tier.
Yeah, I mean nothing about an alpha is like throw downy. And Sigmas. I don't know. I will say this. I was pleasantly shocked at a Sigma when I would say that we was just in motherfucking Houston. And again, I feel like the Kappas run Houston. Everywhere we went, they was like, oh, the Kappa own this, the Kappa own this, the Kappa own this. But we always saw the motherfucking bros. Like, and because bros are bros, nail you down at 2:00 in the morning in the club. I don't understand. Like y'all always got a piece of nail you somewhere, or the shirt is cut so you can see the brand. But I saw more Qs, but I heard about more Kappas, if that makes sense.
Everywhere. Like we're everywhere. Like at work, at school, like we everywhere for real. Like it's really always gonna be a bruh somewhere.
We were at the Turkey Leg Hut Festival, and I looked over and saw a brigade of purple and gold. And at that very moment, if I was not tired and hot, now you know I never rock Nelia. I wish I had on some motherfucking crimson and cream because I'd have ran my ass right in the middle. Hi, bruh. We the Reds from the East Coast. I'd have been up in the middle of that. It was like a whole brigade just walking down the street. And I said, God damn. So that was a missed opportunity, but I will definitely be back in Houston. Maybe I will sample there.
I mean, listen, you can say whatever you want about the bros because the pink and green love the bros. They live for the bros because at the end of the day, because they want to have this image that they so prissy and so prissy and so fancy. But at the end of the day, all they want to do is be smutted out by the bros. I know plenty of bros that marry AKs. Plenty. A lot. And, you know, they love the bros.
No Coleman
pink and
love.
Green, purple and gold. 20 purple love.
No Coleman love.
No, it's there. It's there. Y'all just be acting up. Y'all be acting funny sometimes. I swear. I be like, look at these hoes. Like, they're just so disrespectful. As soon as the Kappa walk in, they be right there. Hey. The one brother broke your little heart. Now you are running to the Kappas every time you see him.
Say that again. They broke your heart. Sis is smart.
Anybody can break your heart. Don't blame all of us.
I don't know. Well, somebody DM me if you married to a bruh. I want to know your story. How did y'all meet? Was it some thought shit or was it some romantic shit? Let me know. I'm just very curious.
My favorite meme is the one where it's like I met this guy. He washed my hair. He made love to me in the shower. Like it was like a one night stand type thing. And she was like, you know, he washed my hair in the shower. He made love to me. I never heard from him again. He was a cute.
Sounds about right to me. I also like that story. Was that a couple years ago where it went viral where the girl was talking about she had fucked a Q and he like fucked up her insides and she went to the hospital? That was a Q too. Yeah. So
that was long too. She was like, her mom had to come see her. Her mom was like, why are you in the hospital? Like, what were you doing? And she was just like, yeah, like all
that
messed
doesn't
up.
sound like tender love making to me. You literally rearranged her guts.
Yeah, that's not good. Like, she had to go to hospital. She was all messed up. I remember that. It was a long Twitter
That
thing,
was it was a Twitter thread, but it was a whole thing. And I'm just reading this like, you fucked a Q and he fucked your insides up. Like, what the fuck was y'all doing?
Right. But see,
But
you want
shit like that make me go, huh.
Yeah, so you want that challenge. That's what you want. And then, so this is the thing, like most women had this thing where like when they deal with us or they want to be with a Q, it's because they heard all the stereotypes that y'all nasty, y'all this, y'all that. So it's like at the end of the day, they want you to put that leash around their neck and walk them and, you know, do all of that. Like that's what.
But y'all perpetuate it. It's that I feel like, is this a new age Q shit? That neck roll with the tongue out.
That's not new. That's not new.
I just feel like it'd be the video. Maybe it's because on TikTok, I be on TikTok scrolling and I see these young boys who make me feel away. And I just be like, whoo, I could be your mother at this point, but let me let me walk away. The neck roll, get it. That's what do it. If you're on Patreon, you're watching Brian do his neck roll. Okay.
Yeah, the neck roll is interesting. It's I've seen women get weak over the neck roll.
Yeah, when properly executed in a good stroll, a good hop. I can see it doing something.
I can't piece it all together. My hopping isn't like up to par all the way. Got 2 left feet. I just do it.
Is this true?
Yes.
I haven't seen you hop in a long time, actually.
I don't hop. I'd really just do something like I might be loud and like just start a chant like, oh, Mother Hubbard. And everybody just start doing it. So it means
and then you slide to side. I do want to ask you one last thing. We got this. I'm trying to pull it up now. We got it was not a planned listener question.
Okay.
But somebody was in my DMs asking for some type of solicitation. I felt it had been a long time since you and I have responded to a question. I also have not solicited any questions. Also, I'm so overwhelmed with a lot of fucking things right now that I really need to get my life together. But I don't know when that's going to happen, but it has to happen within the next week. And so when they asked it, I was like, you know what? Do you mind? I can't answer this, but I'm recording with Brian soon. And they gave me the go ahead. I'm pulling it up. Sorry, I should have had a screenshot of it. Okay. Hey, Boonie girl. Love the podcast as always. Wanted to get your advice on a few things. Whenever they say that, I always feel like it's going to be some fuck shit. Mm-hmm. I started dating this guy recently, and we were in 2 different cities at first. He let me know that in a couple of months that he would be moving closer to where I am, about 45 minutes away. So technically kind of still long distance. I was so excited because we had really been vibing, and I was looking forward to getting to see him in person. When he moved, he hit me up to let me know he was here and asked for some time to get settled. As soon as he would settle, we would get up. It's been 3 weeks. I have not heard from him. I would like to reach out because I really thought we were vibing and I really would like to see him. When I go to send him a message, it says delivered, but no response. So, Boonie, do you think I should follow up again, or do you think I've been ghosted? What could possibly be the reason that now, as he moved closer, he did not want to meet? Help. So I have a theory. And my theory is that he's in a relationship. Right. And so it was easier to converse and try to hook up when you were further apart. But now that he lives closer, he can't because his bitch is around.
Right. Basically.
Okay.
I don't understand why it's so hard for women to get that. Like sometimes it's like the shit be plain as day, like right in your face. Like it's just literally like right there for you to see, for you to understand. And you don't have to ask Boonie. You don't have to ask Brian. Just ask yourself, why is this man not answering me? yes, you have been ghosted. It doesn't matter if he has a girl or not. Either way, he don't want to fuck with you. Because if he's seen it and he missed it, he like, oh, I got to hit her back when I go to the store. Or I got to call her like out in the yard. Or, hey, babe, I'm about to go drive to the 7-Eleven because I want some Haagen-Dazs. Like, you will come up with a way to hit somebody back or text or, yeah, you're just not that into you, sis.
Yeah, I think that was as simple as that. I saved it purposely because I sometimes feel like women hold the weight of a man's response and insight more than a woman. And that's fine. And I was just like, Brian's going to tell you this, but this one was clear.
I feel like it's very clear. And that's where I want y'all to get better. I want y'all to get better at understanding when situations are clear and making a decision that, hey, guess what? I decided to do this. I decided to do that. It was clear as day. It was right in my face, but I made the decision. Like, don't come out of it like, I didn't know. And for 3 years, I didn't know. And you kept me around. And for a year and a half, we did this. Like, it was clear as day. Like, come on. Like, everybody don't have to spell everything out for you.
Yeah, I think this goes back to what you were saying earlier a little bit about when you reach that level of desperation. Like, the common sense seems to go out the window because you're still wishing, hoping, praying. And this was easy. Like, I wanted
when it's like something that you're supposed to have, right? And it's going to work. It's just a combination of two people who really want it to work. Like, that's why when people be like, marriage is so hard and this is hard, nothing's really hard when two people trying to make it work. Like, when you're trying, the problem with a lot of times when people say marriage is hard or relationships are hard is because one person is pulling away and the other person's pushing back in. And then when that person decides to be all in, that person pulling away. But if
I'm catching a stray again. God damn, you done hit me twice this episode. Go ahead.
you represent the single Black woman. But no, but for real, like, really, I think there's a lot of times it's just that people have bad timing, and sometimes it's like everybody start off on the same accord, and then it's like people start losing interest or want somebody lose interest or do something to like piss the other person off. Now it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get all the way back, and then that person's not the same no more because you hurt them or you did something, and now you can't get that same love you got from them, and it's just all just discord. So that's why it's like, yeah, it's hard. It don't have to be. Like, if we both want this and we both want to respect each other, like, we don't have to fight. We don't have to argue. We don't have to name call. Let's just talk.
That was sound motherfucking advice.
Let's just communicate. Now, I'm serious. Like, people be like hitting their 40s doing the same thing they did in the 30s, same thing they did in the 20s. Stop with the toxic shit. Like, it should be just toxic for no reason. Why? Like, if you still want that, like, just stay single. But don't get in a relationship and then be like, it's hard. You made it hard. With the choices you made, with the decisions you made.
Look at Brian preaching today. This is a very...
I just get so tired of it. Like, people be blaming other people for their stuff. Like, life is not hard. We made it hard.
We make
with some of the decisions and choices that we make. We don't have to live in a $350,000, $400,000 house, but that's the mortgage we wanted. So we got to get up and go to work.
Come on, Mr. Mortgage Loan Officer.
Call me. Let me know.
No, for real. Let me tell you.
Henderson Financing on IG.
Our problematic fave, Brian, is, I feel like it's coming out of his pores now. And I feel like our time with problematic fave is kind of like, I feel like I might have to recast a problematic fave and like make you you might be the responsible ratchet fave and Kenny's the responsible fave, because I feel like you're moving away from that problematic. You're growing up on me, and I love to see it. But this nigga is like a really good dad. He has mad businesses. We were supposed to try to start our own thing, but I don't even know how either one of us is going to find the time to do this.
I got time.
He says he has time. I don't. We'll see.
Listen, I make time.
You make time for what you want to make time for.
But that's the part where, I love that part about me, that people will judge you. People will like point fingers and be like, oh, this person is this way, that way. And they don't know nothing about you.
They don't.
So it's like,
and I feel like for as much as we share in these episodes and these moments we have with the audience, that at the end of the day, nobody really knows us.
Right.
It's like they
Right.
just tell stories that we tell.
Right. Like people don't know like that you have a good career, you have a master's degree, you know, you're very smart, like, but it'd be the smart girls that be freaks anyway. So that's not surprising. But the whole point is, it's like
On the t-shirt.
People really be out here about their business. And sometimes it's like, it's not our job to try to show you or prove something to you. Like, and I think that's where you know that you really around someone who's genuine or who just don't give a fuck, because I honestly don't have any desire to like run my resume down to anybody who's like, yeah, because I heard him on Boonie Breakdown and he did this and he said that, he does. All right, great, cool. Like, thanks. Like, I'm not here to impress people on social media stuff. It's like, you comfortable with yourself? You don't even need that. Like, my therapist was like, she was like, if you're secure and you believe all the things that you love to hear, you don't need a bunch of people to tell you. She was like, sometimes people need a bunch of guys or women patting them on their back, telling them the same thing because they don't believe it. So if you believe like you good and you great, you don't need to always be like, wait for people to be like, oh, congratulations, you did such a good job. Like, you just do it and you believe it. You don't need everybody. You don't need a big fan.
Your therapist sounds like a really solid therapist. That's good advice.
I'm not giving you her name because then you're going to be trusting.
I'll invite her on the podcast. Like, I need to.
No, seriously, like, that's the whole thing. Like, you just got to just live your life and do what you got to do. And everybody, people will realize and see the good in you. I don't got to brag for these, you know.
Come on, don't. You don't got to get him no receipts, my nigga. I will say
get your
this.
Car washed.
That's what I'm telling you. He hustle man, yo. He got 9 careers, 4 side businesses, 3 children. I just don't know how. And nobody's on the bench?
Nobody.
Wow, look at you, all grown up.
Just chilling. Like, for real. Like, I think that's a big part of having purpose, though. Like, when you actually meet somebody and you feel like things are going good and you're compatible with that person, it keep you focused, because when you chasing one, you're getting away from the other. So you can't be chasing pussy and money. You never really lose pussy chasing money.
You never lose pussy chasing money.
Yeah, because if you chasing money and you get into it, they're going to be there. But when you chasing that, you losing money, definitely.
So do you feel like as you've grown in your career and you have access to more money, do you feel like the caliber of women who are in your trails have changed, or is it about the same? Just the numbers are different?
I think the difference is the caliber in the sense that y'all just have more degrees or better jobs, but y'all the same. That's like, so my biggest issue with a lot of women who are single that say stuff to me like, well, I want to meet somebody and I want to do this. And I look at them and I say, you're the same person as the last girl he dated and the girl he dated before. Like, when a guy breaks up with you, he just goes to the next girl who wears the same earrings, the same hairstyle, the same weave, the same clothes, the same, bag, the things that are important to you. You're so shallow that he never misses you because you didn't leave an impact on him. You are just the next girl on Instagram who, can't wait to do a boomerang and, be at dinner. So it's like, when you are just like everybody else and you do everything like everybody else, there's nothing to separate you. Like, nobody misses you because there's more of y'all than it is of us. And I could find another girl who is going to shop here, accessorize that way, get the weave, that's it's simple. But what do you bring that's different? And a lot of women are just like, what you mean? Like, that's exactly what I mean. You don't even know what your superpowers are.
So
it's not your mouth.
Okay. So before we wrap up, this is my cue. So that sound bite that was going around on the internet, because that sounds like what you were saying. I don't know if you saw it, where it was the guys on the podcast and they were saying how the woman was like, I have the I have the house, I have the career, I have the cars, I have all this stuff. All I need now is the man. And the guy was trying to make the point like, well, now no, like now you're not even desirable because of all those things. Like, did you agree with that statement? Because I think I've talked about this with everyone but you.
I haven't heard it, but I don't think that's an issue with you having your own and you having stuff. Like, I think if you meet the right person, they're going to love that you're coming with your stuff together. Too many people doing loans and, working in this financial industry, too many people like yell out they got good credit and, it's not good. But the whole thing is, it's like you want somebody, not just with stuff, but just some substance too. So it's like some people are like, look at my house, look at my car, look at my job, but they don't have no substance behind them. So just don't be like, I got all of this. All of that is nothing. Like if you're not a good person and they can't like talk to you and everything you do is shallow and it's about the next label you got on and it's about the next trip you can take and how much money you can spend. Yeah, guys are going to run away, not because, oh, they scared of me because I got my own money. No, it don't have nothing to do with that. Like you're obsessive compulsive about yourself and your lifestyle more so than you are wanting to be in a relationship. So it's like that's when men be like, "Oh yeah, she just was too much." It wouldn't, and then they'll use the cop out excuse, and people have made this excuse that when women got that shit together, men like afraid of that. No, I don't know no men who are afraid of that. Like I know men who deal with women who make really good money, and some of them make less than them.
I know somebody's listening to this whole episode, this conversation right now, and just like, damn, you shocking the shit out of them because even though we label you as problematic, you are actually very pragmatic and logical. And so to me, it's like, when the clip went viral and I had this conversation with a few other men, I was kind of shocked at some of their responses. Pleased when I heard responses similar to yours, but some of them where they were like, I mean, he's right. And I'm like, oh, you broke.
Yeah.
Like that was
it's a different type of man that look at certain women and automatically be like, she bougie. She stuck up because of how you dressed or what you got on or you got yourself together. So it's like some men are looking for the low-hanging fruit all the time. But it's some of us
low-hanging fruit. That is perfect description. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of low-hanging fruit sitting right on the internet, right on Instagram, DM you whatever you want, send you pictures, do it up. That's the low-hanging fruit. The women who'll be like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Or it was a thread. It was like the worst. I'm not sure who posted it, but it was like the worst lines, the worst things dudes said to you, like trying to talk to you. It was like these dudes say anything. You seen that thread?
Yes, because I can't.
So that's what like the low hanging fruit falls for. And what happens is you're over here trying to project the image of, yes, I want to meet somebody because Instagram, Facebook is a dating app. At some point, somebody gonna come in your DM. But the way some guys approach it is they're so crass because of the low-hanging fruit. So the low-hanging fruit make it so easy, but it's also how you project yourself too. So like you got, it's like it's a catch-22.
It is. And so that's why I was saying before, I think in another episode where I'm just so shocked, like I'm not even that popular on social media or anything. Right. And so I'm always shocked when I'm on these when I was on these dating apps and I would swipe and a nigga is immediately like, send me your titties, and I'm like, do you know, did you know about my podcast and you saw my face or you just assumed? Because it's no way on earth in my mind that men can just lead like this. Like in our first conversation, we talked about your dick. You asked me for a picture of my pussy. Like, are you out of your mind? And so It is just amazing. So I think, because I'm like, what is it I'm projecting? And this is the episode I'm going to do based off of a Talk to Boonie Tuesday whole thing last week. But I think I'm considered low-hanging fruit because I'm fat. And so they think I'm desperate. And I'm not. I think that's it. No. I bet you it's it, Brian.
No.
I bet you it's it. Because there are, sadly, some women out here who are larger in frame, maybe uglier, whatever the case may be, who any male attention they're excited by. And I've said this before, I could pick I have my pick of niggas I could fuck at this very moment that I ain't never fucked before. So that shit don't excite me. So for me, that attention is like we'll get there, my nigga, once I like you, but
and that's the thing.
The first conversation, you're out of your mind.
But I think that's what, like, as a guy, if you're a guy, you listening and you single, you win by just being cool, by playing it cool. Like, you don't even have to do all of that. Like, it's so easy. The game is so easy. Like, you don't even have, you just let it come to you. It's like, all right, I got the open layup, I'm going to take it. Or, you know what, I'm going to pass the ball to the corner. Then I'm going to come back down the court. I'll get my shot later. Like, you don't have to rush it. Like, they will literally fall into your lap. These women have nothing. They have no one. They got people, listen, they got warm bodies there, but that's it. And they ready to, like, leave him alone. They ready to move on from the dude that's just coming through every now and again, playing the maintenance man. They want more. And it's like, as a single guy, like, you right there for the taking. All you got to do is just play your cards. Just play your cards right.
Yeah, I think that is a great way to end on, because this shit is, I just feel like I was sharing the meme last week. Every day is April Fool's when you're attracted to men. And a woman responded and was like, nah, the women the same way. So I just feel like everybody out here fucked up, and that's why dating is trash, because it's fun to put it on men because I date men, but apparently the women are fucked up too. So we got to do better, y'all, because I really would like to get off the market soon. Like, I want to be that meme of Niecy Nash, break my back over here, break my back. That's what the fuck I want to be doing in life, traveling with a nigga and getting my back broke every single place I get a stamp. And I just can't do it because I be dating for the right now and not for life. But that's a conversation for another day, and I'm in therapy on it. So, right. So, well, any final words, Mr. Henderson?
Another good episode in the books. I keep telling you, like, we got to get to a point where we have our own segment once a month, once every 2 weeks.
We're going to do it. We have to do it. We have to, like,
to do it. We got to do it while the people still want to hear from us. I keep going like this. They might not even want to hear from me no more. You had to replace me.
We are growth. I'm going to have to start taking auditions for a problematic.
No, it's just certain topics. They just.
Well, look, nigga, I know this, and we're not telling dates and locations just yet. But I did, Boonie live shows are back. And I know your ass better give the people something.
I'm going to give him something.
Brian will be one of the guests. Even if he's not ratchet, he's fucking funny, and the timing is funny.
I mean, so the thing is that makes me the problematic fave is I'm raw. I give people the real shit straight, no chasing. And that's the problem. People don't want to hear it that way.
Yes.
I always get the DMs like, I like what you said. I just didn't like the way you said it.
You said it. They'd be like, it's truth, but it's so mean.
Right.
But yes.
Right now. Somebody's hurting right now from this episode. Sorry. But
look,
you'll be better for it.
Don't even feel bad. I caught 2 strays myself this episode. So
you'll be better for it. And somebody about to get that call like, why haven't we gone anywhere? Why is it? Why you keep taking me to Philly every weekend? Like, I want to go somewhere different. I'm tired of going to DC.
Shots fired again.
Look,
pop.
Because the best thing about COVID was that kept you out of them trips. Like, oh no, it's COVID.
And that's funny because some of my interactions with some people that's when we met, and so I think we met each other in a fake time because it wasn't real life for a minute. Like that's not how we lived, and so it's really interesting watching people now in real life again, and it's like, I see things, but whatever. It was fun while it lasted. You could have been my pandemic buddy when I'm 85 years old and I'm telling the grandkids, yeah, this one nigga was rocking my world during that pandemic, right? Like, that's fine. That's your place in my story of my life, and I'm okay with that. So, all right, yeah.
All right, well, so we do it again. I will talk to you soon.
All right, bye. All right. Thank you to the homie, our problematic fave, for being our guest this week. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope y'all are on Instagram on Tuesday to participate, because I have quite a few Talk to Boonie Tuesday polls that Brian has requested per this conversation. And also, I hope you check out our sponsor, the new podcast, Reality with King. Be sure to check that out on any of your favorite podcast apps. And if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or any apps that you listen to your favorites on. Don't forget to leave the Boonie Breakdown 5-star reviews over on Apple Podcasts. You might just hear your review on the next episode. Follow us on all social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. I don't make these pretty images for nothing. Okay, have a dope ass week. Stay healthy, safe, and sane. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the ratchet in you. Namaste. Until next time.